Claude Code keeps a memory file that it reloads into every single session. Think of it as the AI's long-term memory. Mine had quietly grown to about 58 notes. I opened it up to prune the clutter and found something much worse than clutter. One of those notes had rotted into a flat-out lie. It was confidently telling every new session that my main branch was months behind, when that work had already shipped. Here's the part most people miss. Everyone knows about the context window. Far fewer know that Claude Code also keeps a persistent memory, an index that loads at the start of every session, plus one file per fact that it pulls in on demand. It is supposed to stay lean, because every note in that index pays rent on every conversation you have. But not all notes are equal. About 15 of mine were durable rules. Preferences and lock decisions, like keep answers short or never build without my approval. These earn their place, because they live nowhere else. But around 40 were just project status. Which branch is live, what shipped, migration phases. And every one of those already had a real home. A doc, a spec, or a git commit. That is the bloat. So I ran an audit. Not a bulk delete, because some status notes hide a unique detail. The method was simple, 3 at a time, and for each note, prove the fact is already captured correctly somewhere else before deleting it. Most were clean deletes. One note about an app was completely redundant, because every line of it was already in that app spec. A few I had to move first. One held a command I run on every version bump that wasn't written down anywhere, so I moved it into my lessons file, then deleted the note. But one note wasn't redundant, it was wrong. It claimed my main branch was stale, stuck at version 0.6, with the real work stranded on a side branch. Git told the truth. Main was already at version 0.17, and that work had merged weeks ago. A memory that contradicts Git is worse than no memory at all, because it injects a false premise into every session before you have even typed a word. That note didn't get archived. It got deleted on site. In total, the audit took 69 files down to 61. But deleting duplicates fixes nothing if they just grow back. So why does AI memory rot in the first place? It comes down to a timing mismatch. Claude writes these notes itself, silently as you work. A note gets saved the moment a fact is fresh, and at that moment it is perfectly reasonable, because the fact's real home doesn't exist yet. Then time passes. The branch merges. The doc gets written. Git now holds the truth, but nobody comes back to retire the old note. It is still loaded every session, and now it doesn't just duplicate Git, it contradicts it. The note has decayed from redundant to wrong. So the real fix isn't a one-time cleanup. It is a rule added to the global memory file that shapes what gets saved from now on. Prefer the doc. Never save project status, because that is Git's job. Retire a note the moment its real home lands, and prune periodically, 3 at a time. Because your AI's memory is not free real estate. It is loaded into every conversation you have. A stale note doesn't just waste space, it starts every session with a lie. So save the why and the preferences that live nowhere else. Let Git and your docs hold the what. Because the one rule about AI memory is this: a wrong memory is worse than no memory at all.